Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today is probably going to be the wrap-up of my Chris Benoit project. Yesterday I talked about his legacy being removed. The day before I talked about the events that went on that weekend at his house with his family and himself. Gave my thoughts on that. You guys can find the whole, my whole project on here. This may or may not be the wrap-up. I'm still deciding whether or not I'm going to do if I do tomorrow, okay, here's the plan. Tomorrow, if I do my CM Punk DVD review, that means it's the end of the Benoit project. But if I don't, and I do a Chris Benoit tribute show review, then that's gonna be it. So today I'm gonna be talking about Chris's son, David. The one that didn't die. And I'm gonna be talking about how he wants to become a wrestler. He wants to wrestle as Chris Benoit Jr. I don't know if that's a good idea. I want him to be a wrestler. I want him to follow in his dad's footsteps. But I don't know if it's a good idea for him to use the name Chris Benoit Jr. For one thing, he looks exactly like Chris. Two, people are still hating on him, even though he didn't do anything. People are blaming him for what happened that weekend with his dad and Nancy and Daniel. David had nothing to do with this. I'm going to say it again. He didn't have anything to do with it. He was in Canada that week. Chris was in Georgia with his family. Well, with his other family. David had nothing to do with that. Should he wrestle as Chris Benoit Jr.? Probably not. I think he should just wrestle as David Benoit, or I don't know, pay tribute to Daniel somehow. David Danielson or David Daniels. Daniel Davidson or something. I don't know. Just don't use the name Chris Benoit Jr. It's not a good idea. I would be fine with it if, people weren't so freaking negative and blaming him for what happened. But David wants his dad to go in the Hall of Fame. And I've said it before. I'm not denying what happened with Chris and his family that weekend. I'm not denying that he did it. I'm not denying that it happened. I'm just giving a different perspective on it. Do I think Chris Benoit will be in the Hall of Fame? Probably not anytime soon. We're gonna have to wait for Vince McMahon to die if that happens. I'm sorry. We're just gonna have to wait until Vince dies. And David wants Chris to be in the Hall of Fame. I understand that, but, look, I want it to happen too, but I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon. Even though it's been 15 years, even though 15 years have gone by since, today marks the 15-year anniversary of Chris Benoit's death. This event took place over a 3-day period. Yesterday was Daniel, and the day before was Nancy. Today's Chris. People are gonna give him crap all his life for what his dad did, and that's not right, because David Benoit had nothing to do with that. Leave him alone. And if he has aspirations to be a wrestler, then good. Should he use the name Chris Benoit Jr.? No, I don't think so. Should he use the flying headbutt as his signature move? Might not be a good idea. Use the suplexes and use the crippler crossface. Oh, there's another theory that I forgot to mention the other day. They're saying that people are saying that Chris put Daniel in the crossface when that happened. And I can tell you right now, if that is true, it might... I don't think it is. Otherwise his arm would have been broken. I don't see anything about that. I don't think he used the crossface. I've used it on people myself. He didn't use the crossface. Plus, it would have been impossible because Daniel's so small. You can't put a... Like, if you're Chris Benoit, you can't put the crossface on a 7-year-old kid that's that small. Like, you just can't. It's impossible. You're going to have to modify it. But no, I support David Benoit in becoming a wrestler like his father. I do. And if a company doesn't want to sign him because of his last name, then shame on them. I'm sure AEW might. WWE, forget it. If he does get signed by WWE, they're probably going to change his last name and be like, you can't be associated with Chris Benoit. We're going to change your last name, pal. I don't know, that's my Vince McMahon impression. Sorry. He sucks. I'll have more on the Vince stuff later, when I think of that whole situation, but it won't be for a while, because, I have no sympathy for him. Vince. I just don't. But, I don't know, maybe one of these days we'll see David Benoit versus Brian Pillman Jr. Or Dominic Mysterio. Or we could get that match that we didn't get at Vengeance Night of Champions. Except it would be David Benoit versus CM Punk instead of Chris Benoit. I'd like that. Really would. If I forgot anything in this situation, in this case, I will definitely cover it at a later date. So, this wraps up my 6-part Chris Benoit project. I think I did 6 videos on it, not counting the announcement. If you guys want to check out my Dark Side of the Ring review on it, on the Benoit tragedy, it's up there. So are my 2 videos that I did this past week. The Hard Knocks Chris Benoit DVD review is up there too, and Vengeance Night of Champions 2007, that DVD review is up there as well. So check all that stuff out, guys. Go to my channel, subscribe, like the videos. It helps. I'm at 15 subscribers. I want to get to at least 30 by the end of the year. Gotta start small, right? Yeah. So, I will see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Either with a Chris Benoit tribute show review or the CM Punk DVD. Depending on which one I decide to do. Probably going to be the Punk DVD because the 11th anniversary of the pipe bomb's coming up, so stay tuned. Peace.